Hello, and welcome to another episode of Classic Stories That Make You Think. Today, we are diving into one of the most chilling short stories ever written, The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. It's not just a horror story. It's a journey into the mind of a person who insists he's sane, while slowly revealing the opposite. Let's begin this gripping tale of obsession, madness, and guilt. Chapter 1. I Am Not Mad. The story opens with a mysterious narrator who looks directly at us and says, "True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad?" He insists that he's not crazy. In fact, he believes his senses have become sharper. He especially talks about how well he can hear, things in heaven, on earth, and even in hell. But isn't that a strange thing to say? This narrator has a deep obsession. Not with money, not with power, but with the eye of an old man he lives with. He says the man has never done him wrong. He even says he loves him. But the man's vulture eye, pale blue with a film over it, drives him insane. And so, the narrator makes a decision. Not to hurt the man, but to destroy the eye. Chapter 2. Planning the Crime. Every night, for 8 nights, the narrator opens the old man's bedroom door very slowly. He says it takes him an hour just to get his head inside the room. He is careful, quiet, and proud of how clever he is. Each night, the old man is asleep and his eye is closed, so the narrator can't act. It was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. Finally, on the 8th night, something changes. The narrator makes a small noise and the old man wakes up. He can't see anything in the dark, but he's now alert. The narrator waits silently, hidden in the shadows. Time passes. The old man still doesn't lie back down. Then it begins, a soft, low, quick sound, like the ticking of a watch wrapped in cotton. It is the old man's heart. The sound grows louder, louder. It drives the narrator mad with fear and anger. "I must scream or die," he says, and so he leaps into the room and pulls the man to the floor. The old man's heart beats no more. Chapter 3. Hiding the Body. Now the narrator is calm again. He's proud of what he's done, and even more proud of how cleverly he hides the body. He cuts up the corpse and hides it under the floorboards. There is no blood, no trace, no sign of a struggle. He says, "Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this?" It's all perfect. He cleans the room and waits for the morning. But there is one problem. A neighbor heard a scream. And now, police officers arrive. Chapter 4. A Calm Conversation. The narrator smiles and welcomes the police. He says the scream was his own, from a bad dream. He tells them the old man is away in the country. He shows them the entire house and even brings chairs into the old man's room. The narrator sits directly above the floorboards where the body lies. He is proud, confident, and even joking with the officers. But then he hears it again, that sound. Low, soft, and quick. The beating of a heart. He begins to talk faster, louder. He walks back and forth. He waves his arms. But the sound grows louder and louder. He is sure the police hear it too. He believes they are mocking him, pretending not to notice. The pressure becomes unbearable. Chapter 5. The Confession. The narrator can't take it anymore. The noise, the guilt, the madness, it all explodes. Villains. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Hear, hear. It is the beating of his hideous heart. And just like that, the calm and clever murderer turns into a broken man. He confesses everything. Not because the police forced him to, not because of evidence, but because his own guilt was too loud to ignore. Chapter 6. What does it all mean? This is not just a story about murder. It's a story about the human mind. The narrator tried so hard to prove he wasn't mad. But in doing so, he only showed how deeply he had lost control. His obsession with the eye, his pride in planning the murder, and his final breakdown. They all show us how powerful guilt and fear can be. The heart he heard, it wasn't real. It was the sound of his conscience. That's what Poe wanted to show us. Sometimes the worst punishment doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. Final thoughts. So, what do we take from this terrifying tale? Maybe it's this. No matter how carefully we try to hide the truth, no matter how silent we try to be, the heart always speaks. And when guilt begins to beat like a drum in your mind, there is no escape. Thank you for joining us on this dark journey into one of the most haunting minds in literature. If you enjoyed this story, stay with us for more classic tales that help you improve your English and think more deeply. See you next time.